Okay, testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Why is it not showing up? Oh, there it is. Hey, welcome everyone, back to Final Fantasy XIV. Today we shall be continuing one of my favorite side quests that has ever been conceived. And it bothers me so much that we had to wait an entire goddamn expansion between between Stormblood, and now we're back here in Walker. Let me just initial. Wait, hang on. Ah, how do I? Yeah, okay, there we go. All right. If I follow the patch notes, I have to do a question called The Sleeping Gentleman from an excitable youth in Rosatan. I believe this is it. The pungent Lalafell can scarcely conceal his excitement.
Wait, I know you. We met in Kugane. You're that stone-cold killer I asked to look after the love of my life. What's that look for? Surely you hadn't forgotten me. You and me, we had a moment, a connection. Not like the one I've got with her, of course, but I know I left an impression.
Cute little bastard smells like she's followed Nashu to Kugane after stalking for over 5 years. He was like, I mean, blows his head out, take it. Luckily, I've forgotten my own name. Oh, we're already off to a whiz-bang start. Holy shit.
Hey, there's nothing creepy about my love. It's as pure as the pristine waters of the forest stream. Fair point about the cheese stink, though. But enough about me. This is about Miss Nashu. Ever since she got sucked into that weird portal back east, I've been scouring the world for any sign of her. I was this close to giving up. But then, huzzah! I found her here in Rastadhan. Normally I'd be happy to get back to playing the silent invisible guardian, but she seemed pretty distressed by the plight of her inspector friend. He's here too, but laid up and showing no signs of waking anytime soon. My Nashu has been fashioning all sorts of medicines in hopes of rousing him, but to no avail. I mean, I couldn't care less if he kicked the bucket, but I hate seeing her like this. She's liable to work herself to death. So what say you? Will you deliver my dear's Nashu from her plight? You'll find her over by the High Crucible, no doubt slaving over an alembic? And with that, I'll go back to cheering her on her from the shadows. You too, I guess. Now go, quickly, to save my beloved.
Of fucking course. I apologize if I'm a bit sniffly. I had to walk all the way up home after a meeting today. There she is. It's the girl. God, I've missed this little gremlin so much.
And that should be it. Now let's take this medicine and...
What was the button? Hang on. No, wait. Give me a second. There we go.
God, Damien! It feels like it's been forever. Though definitely less than a year, I'm sure.
Yes, because the game is in a time bubble. I keep forgetting about that. Even though we've waited years, it's probably been over a couple of weeks for everyone else.
What brings you to Rastadhan? Enjoying a spot of adventuring? Or perhaps... Then you've heard! It's true. Sir Hildibrand's gone into hibernation again, and... Ah, wait, you're giving me that look. The one screams, what about the whole wheel portal business? Alright, since you silently asked... So, back at the Ruby Sea, remember how Greg got dealt with Dew Prism and was forced to whisk us all far away? How strange how that strange rift opened up, which the inspector then got sucked up into, and how I followed him after that. Well, after that, we all ended up in this bizarre place. Couldn't tell up from down, left from right, and so we wandered, lost and confused. Fortunately, Greg came to his senses and explained that we were in the inspectorial rift, and then used the same trick to bring us home. Greg himself stayed behind, though. Something about a score that he had to settle. Not sure what that was about, but hey, you know Greg. Anyway, we're back now, but the rub is that Inspector Hildibrand hasn't opened his eyes once. I know he needs his beauty sleep, but it's been an awfully long time. If we got cases to solve. I'm trying my hand at apothecary stuff, but since I can't make something that'll get him up and moving, but nothing seems to work.
Have you tried exploding nearby him? Excuse me.
But I think we're making progress. Me and Mr. Chupacabra from the Shakshoska concern, that is.
Again, I love that Nair and everything about it. I can't pronounce any of the names to save my life.
You remember Mr. Chupacabra, right? Got something to the rift along with us. Former evil mastermind. Not so bad once you get to know him.
No, it's that bitch. At least I am to meet you once more, and under less compromising circumstances. If I may correct our mutual friend, I am Jubraka, chairman of the... Fuck this. Your distrustful and somewhat bloodthirsty gaze is not unwarranted, but in my defense, who among us has not contemplated enslaving the rich and powerful to bend the world to their whim?
Yeah, kinda has a point there, if you ask me.
I pray you forgive my poor joke, and allow me to assure you that after wandering the interdimensional rift from the sisters only know how long, I'm a changed man. Naturally, I understand that words alone will not suffice to absolve me of my sins. Thus, since my return, I have operated a humble apothecary that caters to the needs of the one and all. Furthermore, I have made arrangement for Miss Nashu's workshop. Rest assured that I will spare no effort in helping her see Inspector Hildibrand awakened and return to full health. And with that, if you would excuse me, I must see to other business.
Okay.
He's scheming. He's planning. I don't trust him.
Isn't he the nicest ex-villain you've ever met? Ah, but that's right. I just finished my latest medicine. I have high hopes for this new recipe.
I suppose I ought to get a look at the Mandeville man himself. Medicine might not do us any good.
Really? Well, you've seen all kinds of amazing things in your travels, so maybe you'll be able to tell me what's wrong with the inspector if you get a look at him yourself. He's resting in a room up in Kama. Let's go!
I accidentally hit the slow walk button trying to hide my goddamn PNG tuber. Again, new computer, don't have the same hotkeys, but hey, at least had things actually set up relatively decently now. Yeah. There he is. Sorry, I just had to.
Isn't this room nice? Mr. Chupacabra's taken care of everything, even paid the rent in full. Ah, but I'm distracted here, aren't I? You need to concentrate while you examine the inspector, yes?
Oh boy, one of these things again. rugged features belie what is, at close glance, the sensitive mien of a cultured gentleman. While he still breathes, he appears to be locked in a deep slumber. Rippling muscles bespeak impressive strength, while smooth skin suggests that only on the rarest occasions does this man resort to violence. Troublingly, his limbs are stiff and cool to the touch, as the blood runs cold in his veins. The exquisite buckles of the stylish footwear are a design unique to House Mandeville. These shoes would almost certainly fetch a small fortune in the markets. Is it implying that Hildibrand feet pics are a thing? I don't like the thought of that. The inspector condition is disturbingly reminiscent of the scions who were summoned to the First for a time. Oh no. Not you!
Oh, finished already? Any theories as to what's wrong with the inspector?
Well, he's a soulless husk, which is less than ideal.
I mean, I see. I mean, I don't, but that's what you're supposed to say at times like this. I know that much. How do we wake him up?
Well, I'm gonna have to go into another dimension and pluck his soul back into this one.
Return his soul to his body, but where did it go? What's it doing there?
Probably went to the First to become the Gentleman of Darkness, as you do.
I see. Right, so you go... can you go there?
Yes. I have no idea why, considering I'm not the Warrior of Light. But, nevertheless.
Great! In that case, I'll leave the soul certain to you. I'm sure it goes with that saying, but once you've arrived in this otherworldly world, look for a place that smells of mystery and intrigue, and chat with the people there. That's standard agent of inquiry protocol. Oh, and since this is Inspector Hildibrand we're talking about, don't be surprised if you find him asleep, or having forgotten a thing or two. But not to worry, I prepared a traditional medicine just in case. Don't hesitate to use it. And with that, do take care out there.
To the Crystarium we go. Lara Croft? Oh boy. Hey Glenard, how you doing?
Welcome back, friend. I'd offer you a pint, but my barman sense tells me that's not why you're here.
Oh, hang on. I probably need to change the hotkey for that.
So this friend of yours has gone missing. Sorry to hear that, but plenty of travelers pass through these parts. Could you describe the fellow to me?
He was wearing a tattered suit, most like.
Yes, that does sound familiar. Mind you, I didn't see him myself, but I do believe one of our bounty hunters spied such a man while you were all up battling that horde of spectral warriors.
Oh yeah, he's referring to that dungeon! Oh, that's amazing.
Giot, come here a moment. Someone wants to speak with you.
That's so. Make it quick. This ale is going to drink his shelf.
I wonder if they... I don't know if you're a boy or a girl, I can never remember. But I wonder if they would have their helmet on at this point if I didn't complete the healer role quests.
If it ain't Damien, what brings you back to our neck of the woods?
look like a gun. I'm gonna veer on the side of caution. Probably. I can't. Hang on. I'm gonna look it up just to be sure. Okay. Race, dwarf, gender, female. Okay, it is female. Good to know.
Now that you mention it, I did see someone like that back there on the battlefield after you ran off to do more healer work. At first I thought he was going to attack me like the rest of the spirit Whatsits. But no, he just stood there striking a pose, trying to scare and seduce me. Damned if I could tell. Still, he was glowing and I wasn't about to take many chances, so I said, "Hey, piss off, ghost!" and sent him packing.
Oh no.
Did he die, you ask? To which I say, what am I a Kyrugian? Also, I've kept my mug waiting long enough. Good talk.
Wait, yeah, wait. Could it be? The Warrior of Darkness? Oh, hey, it's those guys. I thought that was your voice, but I was convinced my ears were playing tricks on me. It's good to see you again. Didn't mean to eavesdrop, but we overheard you discussing the renegade poser. We've been searching for him for some time now. There have been sightings in Lakeland, you see. Bernard and I have been tasked with getting to the bottom of it. We've little in the way of useful information, though. All we know is that he appears without warning and strikes a disturbing pose. It's not caused any harm if you discount the shock of a strange man gesticulating in your general direction, that is. Nevertheless, we're worried his behavior might escalate. Have you been tasked with apprehending the miscreant as well? Not quite, One Art. Damon's gone back to track down a missing friend. Your miscreant, I regret to say, might be my friend. If the man you're looking for might be the one the same, then why not work together? Between the three of you, you're bound to have better luck. Sounds like a plan. It would be an honor and a great help. We were just about to leave to gather testimony as it happens. Come and join us in Sullen when you've finished here. We'll solve this mystery in no time. Okay. Keybinds. Ah, Jesus. Okay, that's the one. How do I clear it then? Oh. Sure. Actually, wait, hang on. In exchange, I'll just change the hotkey in here to that. Alright. Right, Lakeland. Probably might just be faster if I just use teleport via the shards. God, I miss Nordrand. It's been so long since we've been here. I know we had a brief visit during the Endwalker quest line, but still. Let me tell you, there was something magical about seeing the skies turn pitch black, like turn to night after we defeat the first Light Warden. Like, god damn. I still love Shadowbringers. Like, I kind of want to replay it at some point. Alright, let's see.
Oh, that fellow? I saw him the other day on the way home from Clearmelt. I'd enjoyed one too many liberation having my bath and ended up wandering off into the forest. Before I knew it, the sun was dipping low and the sky had turned dark. And I was beginning to wonder if I'd ever make it home. And I felt a gentle tug on my arm. And would you believe it? This odd-looking man let me out of the forest and set me back on the road. I thanked him profusely, but he said nothing in reply. Just struck this pose and walked off.
Well, it does sound like Hildibrand. No, that's not a door. I mean, it is a door, but I can't use it. Over here? Wait, what the Dad Fort. I've never seen this NPC before. That's a funny name. Did I see him? You bet I did. I was crossing through the forest of the Lost Shepherd on my way to deliver fish to the Hostile Imperative. Out of nowhere, this odd man leapt out in front of me. I thought he was a bandit at first, but then he abruptly turned side to side, curled his neck, and put his fist to his head as to say, I don't know. It was baffling. I ran when I realized he wasn't going to do anything else.
Well, yes, I saw someone like that when I was picking mushrooms in the forest. He even spoke to me. I was repulsed at first by his form, but he only wanted to warn me that fell beasts lurk in the forests and that I should be wary. Contrary to appearances, I'd say he was actually quite gentlemanly.
Oh boy. Finished questioning the locals, have you? Were you able to learn anything? Not only has the poser caused no harm, but he even helped people.
So he's a gentleman, that'd be a suspicious one. Something of a contradiction, if you might say, but there's no reason to doubt what we heard.
Everyone seems to encounter him in the forest of the Lost Shepherd, right? That's where we'll look next. Shall we? We shall. So I realize I don't have a minion now for some reason. Hey, Omega. Right, I'll probably do that quest after I'm done here as well, because they released, there'll be some kind of continuation to the, like, Omega quest line, Omega Ray quest line with Alpha and Omega. We'll see how much time I have after this. Oh, there's also a quest with the Tataru. Oh, so much! There's so much to do! I have a strange suspicion that, yeah, there's probably a long cutscene here. Well, here we are, but how exactly we're supposed to begin our search? These woods are, well, woods. Don't worry. I have an idea. Probably.
Got a plan, do you? Far be from me to doubt the warrior darkness. Show us what you got in mind, and we'll back you up to the best of our ability.
Am I gonna do the Mandeville? That is a difficult moral choice! I personally prefer the Mandeville Mambo, so let's do that one. my god, they're following along! Hark! What familiar gentlemanly gyrations are these? But what is he? Did he become a sin eater? Oh my god, he's a light warden! What? Oh my god. Ow. God, I miss you, big old oaf. On your guard! It's a Sin Eater! No, wait, that's no Sin Eater. It's the Gentleman of Light! Gentleman of Light! Who is the Gentleman of Light of whom you speak? I am the Forgiven Gentleman, Devourer of Sins, Light Warden Extraordinaire! No. You hit your head again. You're not a Sin Eater, you're Hildibrand, the Gentleman Inspector. Inspector, Sin Eater, Inspector, Sin Eater. You're acquainted with this gentleman? You could say that. Right then. Clearly your friend's been through a lot, but still, how do we get in his head that he's a? How did he get in his head that he's a Sin Eater? There's no way to bring back his memories. We beat him out of him. Of course. Explosives? We're still trying to save him, right? Just trust me on this. Yeet! Oh no. Why are we playing volleyball with a bomb? Oh shit! Oh! Really? Knocked the goddamn white out of his clothes, too. Wicked White! We've killed him! No, it's fine, it's fine. He usually just does this. Just help me pull him out. Hi. I say, Damien, I had resigned myself to nauseous on gentle methodology. But you too, my brutish friend? But never mind that. I do not recall the world being quite so purple.
Previously, I was with Nashu and Greg, wandering the bizarre, shadowy realm known as the Inspectorial Rift.
Oh no.
Why now?
Hmm? Where am I? Who am I? Oh, there's Gian. Was there always this frazzle when he's blown up? I don't remember it being that way.
That's signet light! It's aggressive posturing! I know what you are. You're one of them, ain't you? What you need is a good old-fashioned dwarven decking! Piss off, ghost!
Oh, God. Oh, for fuck's sake. Okay, he then materialized completely afterwards? And ran into a Sin Eater. Or... I have so many questions.
Was he always this thick?
His thickness scared off a Sin Eater. Are you serious? Run for your lives! It's a Sin Eater! Sin Eater? Ugh. I'll be damned. I saw a vision of the man's past. No wonder I became convinced he was a Sin Eater. I saw it too. It was quite possibly the most ridiculous memory I've ever glimpsed. Now you know my pain. Answer me, my faithful assistant. Where are we, and why is it so purple? Well, you're in a different dimension. The first? The first what? Are you telling me we've somehow traveled to an entirely different world? Yes. Good gods! To think that I have transcended the very boundaries of time and space! But worry not, my adoring fans. Hildibrand, agent of inquiry, inspector extraordinaire, will return to you forthwith! This is going to be a doozy, I can already tell. Oh, no. Soulful reunion.
Well, I've enjoyed what time I spent with this in this far-flung first that I can remember. We should be getting back to our own world soon. Would you happen to know how we might go about doing that? Restore my soul with a spirit vessel? Say no more! Your cursory description was more than enough for me to grasp the concept completely. It is not unlike brewing the perfect cup of coffee. Which means our task is clear. We require services of a skilled souls sommelier.
We require the services of Beck Luke.
Splendid! I see that even in this world, you rub shoulders with the cream. Let us pay this Beck Luke a visit.
I'm not sure what you're plotting to do with souls, but if you require Beck Luke assistance, we can help.
Aye. They've aided us time and again, and I reckon they'd do the same for your friend here. Come with us to the Cabinet of Curiosity.
Back to the Crystarium we go.
What the fuck is flapping like that?
If you're ready, I'll call for Beck Luke.
Ah, the genius soul sommelier! You've come highly recommended by Damien, and what an adorable little puppy you have!
Soul what? Puppy? I beg your pardon, but there appears to be some confused...
Puppy! Who is this imbecile, Damien? I thought I might to make him dig a hole so I could throw him in it. But I presume he's a friend of yours, and one in need, no less.
Well, he's another inhabitant of the Source.
What? Another of your friends who needs to be sent back to the Source? Have you forgotten how complex and difficult it was to do it the last time? You waltz in here and ask me for this favor with the air of one shopping for a new hat. This case is no different from the others, at least. He is present only in soul, as they were. Well, you'll need another spirit vessel, of course. You don't happen to have one on you already, do you?
I suppose I do.
Entrusted you by the Crystal XIV, you say? If only he knew how you were using it. Fortunately, I have a poxy on hand. We've been using it to treat patients at risk of transforming into sin eaters, but I suppose it's due for a change of pace.
Also, I apologize if you can hear someone drilling in another apartment nearby.
There is, however, one concern. In case I didn't make it clear before, the process can take a great strain upon one's soul. If he is lacking in resilience, there's a chance he will not survive, but his very essence will be rent asunder.
After what he's lived through, it would be implausibly anticlimactic for him to die like that.
Aha! Damien knows me all too well! I assure you, my good sommelier, who is most certainly not a dog, you needn't worry for Hildibrand, Heliodor, Maximilian Mandeville!
Yes, I get the distinct impression that the gods themselves could not kill him if they tried, and they have. Come along then, Hildy, I can't be bothered to remember that name.
1,000 thanks! Simply point me to the soul siphon, I shall hop right in!
The rest of you can wait here. I promise I won't hurt him, no matter how much I might be tempted.
Oh, and they're back.
You'll be pleased to know that the process was smooth and uneventful. Honestly, I was hoping for more of a challenge. All you need to do is take this spirit vessel back to the source and bring it in contact with its corporeal body. It should awaken immediately with its soul and memories intact.
Thank you. If there is nothing else, Vanard and I shall be going to getting back to our duties. It was a pleasure, Damien, if all too brief. I won't pretend to I understood even a fraction of what happened, but I'm glad I was there for it. Till we meet again, rest assured that Thalia and I will be doing our damnedest to look after the people here in your absence.
Bye.
Back to the source we go. What is that? Yes, that was one.
You're back! And not a moment too soon! We have an emergency on our hands!
Right glowing spirit vessel that currently houses the resolute spirit of Inspector Hildibrand.
The Inspector's soul is in this, you say? That's great, but we have another problem now. The Inspector's body has gone missing! We went into the market to do some shopping, and when we came back, he was nowhere to be seen.
We double-checked that every door was locked before we left, but there's nothing to suggest that someone forced their way in.
We've got a case on our hands. A case of the evaporating Inspector. We must begin our investigation at once. Come on, let's start looking for the witnesses.
Oh boy. Does anyone get carried out of that house, you ask? I was too distracted with stock taking to take note of any coming and going. Sorry I couldn't be of more help. I didn't see anyone carry a person out of that house, no. Oh, that's a woman. I'm so sorry.
But I did see a man carrying a particularly large sack. So maybe he's trained to lift it. I don't think much of it at the time, but now you mention it, it was a bit suspicious.
How the fuck do you have those glasses? Those are from the near raid!
How do you... But that was in the first!
And probably not canon!
Why do you have those?
You know, never mind.
Ah, there you are. This man says he has vital information that will help us in our investigation.
A pleasure to make your acquaintance. I'm Delian, Editor-in-Chief of the Thavnarian Truth, a monthly publication devoted to exploring the unexplained and otherworldly phenomena of our isle. Your companion shared with me the news of your friend's disappearance, and I happen to know precisely who is behind the incident. But I fear you may not be like the answer, for the kidnapper is not of this star. They come from the heavens, from beyond the great expanse. They descend in curious saucer-shaped airships to study our world, our society, our buildings, our very bodies. Is this a fun conspiracy theorist? That would explain the glasses. You shudder, no doubt, and you realize of whom I speak. It couldn't be, you protest. Oh, but it could, and it is. Your dear friend, the Inspector, has been abducted by aliens! Oh, but he'll be fine, you assure yourself. After all, they just want to understand us better. You poor deluded child. That they do, but to what end? Why else? That they might one day take over our world! What is worse,
They plot to do so with the aid of collaborators. For the Charlings are in league with our would-be overlords, providing the aliens with vital information of our vulnerabilities in exchange for position of power within the regime. Oh god, he took the fucking Exodus way out of context and made a fucking conspiracy theory out of this. Are you fucking kidding me? The final days was also the work of these alien invaders, an attempt to sow chaos that our world might be easier to conquer. Blessedly, it was thwarted, if only by dumb luck, as those who did the thwarting were blissfully unaware of the true nature of the threat. Aha. I hope the setback would discourage the aliens from coming back, if not move them to abandon their ambitions. But it would seem events have only emboldened them, if they are indeed carrying out abductions here in Ras Adhan. Even as we speak, your friend lays prone in a sterile bed in their base on the surface of the moon, where they poke and probe him with inscrutable instruments that their floppy ears wiggle with fiendish delight. But I have said too much. I must continue my investigation in secret. The fate of our world is at stake. Okay, that's kind of racist considering I'm like distantly related to the Loperids. Like, that's racial profiling, sir. That's not okay.
Oh no! That sounded awful! We have to go to the moon and save the inspector at once!
I think there's a few materials short of full melt. At least got the floppy ears part right.
So you don't think the inspector's somewhere getting probed by aliens? But if not them, who's probing him? A man carrying a suspiciously large sack. That sounds promising. Maybe someone else can tell us more. Someone up ahead may have seen something. Let's ask around.
Oh, now she's following us! Woohoo!
If anyone can lead us to Inspector Hildibrand, it'll be that man with the large sack. I know it. Parika and his family are the nicest people. They've such gentle eyes and long snouts too. Longer than anyone I've seen ever met in Eorzea.
Oh, he's talking about the elephants.
The man with the sack. Indeed, I couldn't help but take note of him as he passed. Tried not so hard to be inconspicuous as he was. He descended to Eldadal's path and then went over to the fountain, where he met with a merchant, I believe. Such a heavy sack it was. My mind was racing with the possibilities of what it might contain. That had to be our man, right? We need to hunt him down, that merchant.
Might as well grab this while we're here. Wait a damn minute! It's that little fucking stalker again! What the hell? Okay, I'm a little disappointed there's no, like, interaction, with the fact that Nash is right here, unless... But that is a very nice detail, though. They actually bothered to add that in. I love that.
It's incredible, isn't it? Reminds me of the giant statue of Lord Godbird at the Gold Saucer. Once he's picked back on his feet, we'll have to show him.
Oh, I forgot to... Sorry. Oh, fuck me sideways. A man with a large sack. You bet I saw him. In fact, I told him my chocobo. At first I told him to get lost. That bird and I go way back and so forth. But he was in a hurry and his offer was very generous. When you're in my line of work, you can't afford to get too sentimental. And now you can buy a whole stables... And now I can buy a whole stable's worth of chocobos.
Did he say he was planning to go next?
He's muttering something about having to get to Saltwind's welcome in a hurry. Probably why he was desperate for a chocobo. It's a long way to go on foot. Never mind the sack.
Did you hear that, Damien? We need to get Saltwind's welcome right away.
Yeah. Nope, I also noticed that my fucking free company buffs just have run out. Wait a minute, moment. No, okay. There we go.
Here we are, which means there. Which means the mysterious man with the mysterious sack must be near. Keep your eyes peeled. Over there! That man is definitely up to no good.
Excuse me.
Maybe he's waiting for a co-conspirator. We should stay out of sight and watch what happens.
Motherfucker! Not you.
Ah, Mrs. Chupacabra? But he expressly told me yet put evil schemes behind him. He wouldn't lie, would he?
The goods appear to be none the worse for wear. Very well. Your payment, as promised. My client will be most pleased. What the hell? Wait, isn't that the dungeon boss from, like, the second dungeon, I believe, in Endwalker?
Oh no! He's going to defeat the inspector to the giant sea monster!
It is him! It is an honor and a pleasure as always, Dr. Lugay. I have faith this specimen will meet your satisfaction.
So this is the one who's said to be the strongest, most resilient in all the world? The Mandeville Man?
None other. He has weathered countless explosions and a multitude of martial abuses, including a devastating suplex I myself did witness. It is even said that he survived a journey to Dalamud itself and survived the Lesser Moon's fall with nary a scratch. Most fortunately for us, he has fallen into a coma from which I am assured he will never awake. You're free to do with his body as you please.
Even the mightiest warriors can't fight while asleep. Those meddlers may have gotten the better of me and my beautiful boy in the Tower of Babel.
Yeah, it was that one.
But my next child will be all but invincible. With this body of mine to command, I will exact bloody, glorious revenge!
Forgive my boldness, Dr. Legay, but when might I expect the rest of my payments? I have debts that must be repaid.
Worry not. With little Lafroy gone for good, the vast fortune of House Brutus is entirely at my disposal. I shall shower you with wealth, my loyal minion.
And I gladly shall accept the spoils, Doctor. and resolve never to renounce my wicked ways. For surely this time I will suffer no comeuppance. Oh, we'll see about that.
No, not you! Not now! I must away!
What the fuck?
Hey!
Wait! Dr. Legay! My payment! Oh no.
Wake up, Inspector!
It worked! Oh! Oh, fuck's sake! Could it be? The world's no longer purple! Ah!
Stop moving, damn you! You're supposed to be the comatose centerpiece of my glorious revenge!
Oh no. Oh. Mommy! Oh my god, this is too ridiculous for words. Wait, is he actually going up to the moon? Oh. Not again! Wait, it's coming towards us? Wait. Out of the way! No, Hildibrand, stop! Oh no. No! Why? Oh, fucking hell. Okay, I guess the Radiant Hosts got them now? Oh, for the love of God. I say, that was a rather dramatic series of events to awaken to. But more importantly, after a brief detour, I find myself in my own world once more! My most sincere apologies for causing you such trouble, my loyal assistants. But rejoice, for Hildibrand, agent of inquiry, Inspector Extraordinaire, has made a triumphant return!
What? Are you kidding me? That lunatic was right? Oh, God. Oh, those poor dodos! Ooh. Oh no, Hildibrand! Wait, Inspector! I knew it! An alien abduction! And I think I have the chance to witness one with my own eyes! This month's issue of the Theft Narrative Truth will be my best one yet! Oh my god. Just when I thought we had finally had the inspector back, off he went. And then came back. And then floated off again.
I mean, you know, at this point we probably expect it.
I know it's not the first time he's taken to the skies without warning, but still, it's always a little disappointing. Still, there's no crying over flying inspectors. Let's return to Razathan.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, Inspector, why have you left me again? And where have you gone? No, this won't do. Get it together, Nashu. There's a case to be solved. Just you wait, Inspector. Your loyal assistant Nashu will solve the mystery of your disappearance. Again. And don't you worry, Damien. As soon as I have a new lead, you'll be the first to know. Till next time.
We're gonna get a next time preview. Meanwhile, in Mare Lamentorum. That was rather unceremonious.
Oh no, too slow. God damn it. What? With astute mind of explosive panache, he'll find crime and crack the case in a flash. Dashing debonair, true Miss Flair, our age of inquiry, Hildibrand Mandeville. Truth and justice never go out of style. See you, Inspector. Oh, good fucking lord. Alright,
well, I guess we'll just have to wait until another patch for the continuation, because I want to know what the hell's gonna go on. Oh my god, alright. Well, I suppose, how long have I been streaming for? A little bit over an hour. You know what, let's go do the Omega quest as well. Let me double check. It's an old Charlian, in the case. No. It's not a mark quest. It's, what's it called? A Heartless Hypothesis?
Now that's blown the cobwebs away. Time to return to work.
Oh, she's kinda cute. I don't recognize the hairstyle though.
Goodness me, look who it is.
How incredibly serendipitous that I've run into you of all people.
I was part of the team which designed the Ragnarok, you see, and we've recently begun the process of combing through the vessel's flight log data. The primary objective of your journey to Ultimate Thule was to save our star and countless others, of course. But it also provided us with an invaluable trove of information. Records of places and events like one we could only dream of.
Actually, hang on, I just thought. Just change the stream title, there we go.
Your safe return gave us much to be thankful for. As it so happens, one of the things we pulled from the log was the transmission of unknown origin. Some of the ship must have been intercepted during its flight. We believe it might be to be an audio message, but even our most talented linguists have been unable to decipher the language. For a while there, it seemed we must accept defeat, but today may be the day we finally solve the mystery. If you were so inclined, would you care to come along to Thaumasay sign? It seems fitting to have one of the Ragnarok's original passengers present to hear the history being made.
Sure. Also, what dress is that? That looks nice.
Kai Moon.
Oh, but then it's probably General Log, so fuck me, I guess.
Ah, there you are. This is where we. This is where we're to meet the engineer from the Garland Ironworks, who I am told potentially hold the key to unlocking our mystery transmission. Should be along at any moment.
Sorry we're late. We had some troubles finding the right...
God, is that you, Damien?
Hey, it's Biggs. Yes, the man himself. I ran into him at the harbor, and I thought that if anyone deserved to hear the message deciphered, it was Damien Selfrost.
No
know, we're even there, but bugger me if you don't have a knack for being in the right place at the right time. This actually has more to do with you than you might think, so please do stick around.
Shall we pick up from where we left off then? As I was saying, we think this transmission the Ragnarok intercepted is a message of some kind, albeit in a language entirely alien to our ears.
Don't fucking talk to me about aliens done after what happened to Hildibrand, please.
Alien being the operative word here. Considering we've received a message from out in the great expanse, its origin is likely some distant star. Unfortunately, our list of off-world allies is presently rather short. Thus, we were destined to the fact that the meaning behind the message would remain beyond our understanding. One of my colleagues, however, refused to give up. Do you remember the Ironworks engineers that had been so helpful in constructing of the Ragnarok and turned them for insight into our seemingly impossible problem?
No, they didn't. Like, all that happened was Sid came up to the Ragnarok and said, "Yep, that's an Ironworks thing," and just took the credit for it. Like, we didn't even see them do anything. Like, the Charlians built the Ragnarok. Ironworks did nothing. What the fuck?
You know what Wedge said when he heard what was going on?
We should have Omega listen to it. I bet it can tell us what the message means.
Not the Omega you beat into the rift, of course. He's talking about the toy that trundles along with Alpha, the little model we made. We originally just decided to follow a chosen target and not much else, but I've seen it act in ways that, well, it's like it has a mind of its own. And I got to thinking about those documents your lot sent to the chief, the full report from the final days. The part about Omega civilization, it said that our people discovered how to convert the mind into data and store it outside the body. Timing being what it was, I wonder if Omega didn't somehow transfer his consciousness into our model right before he put an end to the real one.
Speaking of which, it's my boy!
So, in an effort to get to the bottom of that, as well as take a crack at this indecipherable message, we decided to make some modifications. With help from Labyrinth technicians, we've upgraded our Tori Omega with a fully functional vocalization module.
Oh shit, really? We played the transmission for Omega, and I think it's ready to share. Hey, Alpha!
Are you in there, Omega? Affirmative. If by Omega you are referring to my consciousness, rather than my entire former chassis, existing inside this considerably smaller frame.
Holy shit.
Prediction. You will formulate several misconceptions. These I shall preemptively dismiss based on the following facts. 1. Vocalization module aside, this chassis remains unmodified from the design constructed by the engineers of Biggs and Wedge. I evaluate its combat capability to be on par with a mortal infant. 2. The mechanism which allowed me to perform an emergency transfer of my consciousness was installed in my previous body. With the destruction of that body, I am rendered incapable of replicating such a feat. Should this current material form be destroyed or cease to function, all cognitive awareness of or presence I possess will also be lost. Conclusion. I present no threat to you or your star, nor do my projections indicate the necessity to inflict harm. In the fraction of a moment before my annihilation in the rift, I re-examined my directives. If I am to fulfill my purpose as an evolving construct, then I must continue my journey for improvement for as long as I exist. I must acquire this heart of yours, this strength of soul. Well, we now know that's Dynamis, actually.
Well, there you have it. And it's not wrong about its combat capabilities. It would be more like the damage itself than the thing it was trying to attack. Well, let's not forget the reason we brought you here in the first place. What about the transmission they played for you? Could you recognize the language?
Affirmative. It is transmitted in a pan-galactic basic.
And Galactic Basic?
A common language in comparatively extensive usage throughout the world that we had conquered.
Which means you can finally tell us what the message said. That is the language you understand, yes?
I understand it perfectly. I am fluent in over 6 million distinct dialectical codings. My cooperation in this matter, however, is conditional. Elaboration. Your chief, Sid, utilizes the floor as part of his unorthodox filing system, which allowed me to scan the report on the final days. I am aware that my home star, the one you call Alphatron, was obliterated in the aftermath of Sir and Meteon's meeting. The existence of Dynamis was not previously factored into my projections, but now I comprehend the concept, in theory. What fails to compute is why the Omicrons were not immune to its effects. Dynamis should have no influence on a race which possesses no heart. And yet, Sir expressed to Meteon a desire to cease existing. Illogical. I must pursue this anomaly further, until full equation becomes clear to me. I must analyze all the elements of the final days, and deepen my understanding of the heart's intangible properties. To expedite this process, I require an external interpretation of those sections of the report which continue to produce errors in my calculations. I request the assistance of Damien Selfrost, as one who experienced the ravages of ultimate despair on multiple fronts, and displayed immeasurable heart in engineering my defeat. He is the optimal choice to fulfill this role.
So we either agree to your conditions, or you tell us nothing. I'm sorry to put you to the spot like this, Damien. If you had the time and the patience to spare, we'd all be grateful if you could humor the toy's demands.
Oh, Alpha.
Has Alpha dozed off? I suppose the subject was a bit technical.
Rouse yourself, Alpha. You must listen to and consider these matters, even as I must.
Why don't you make a trip out of it? You know, actually visit the place that has the, things the Megan wants to ask about. It'll make explaining stuff much easier for one, and also help keep Alpha awake and alert.
Oh, good lord. So many people. I see you chose the mutually beneficial option. Logical. See, setting aside matters of Sir, there are 3 elements of the report on which I desire clarification. The first of these concerns the progression of the final days in Rastahan. I recognize no pattern in those who succumbed to the transformation and those who did not. Well, those who transformed had completely given up hope, and they lost, and their ether had disappeared, at least according to the Stola.
That's a bit of a trek if you want to chat with the locals. How about we lend you an airship?
We do not require such an outmoded technology. Damon's teleportation spell is the most efficient option for long-distance travel. This chassis is a model, essentially a toy, and Alpha, despite its organic composition, is indistinguishable from a stuffed doll.
Don't fucking remind me.
Conclusion. We qualify as material possessions. Pick us up, and we can teleport the 3 of us to our destination.
Sure.
Oh, he's so cute. teleport. Sensors indicate we have arrived in Ras.Han. Objective: identify factors that do for resistance to involuntary transformation. Hypothesis: adulterate survivors of the final days will display significant strength of heart. Confirming this theory will require cooperation of live subjects. Where is the wharf designated for residential habitation? Understood. Kama set as our sub-destination. Please take the lead and select the subjects we are to interview.
Oh, they're following us! Oh!
This body has no advanced navigational or geoscanning functionality. You must lead the way.
Oh, that's so cute!
This is getting out of hand! Now there are two of them! Okay, hang on. Let me, You know what? That's very fitting. Sure, let's go with that. Good lord, they're so fast. Warning, please avoid stairs whenever possible. My projections indicate high risk probability of accidental slippage leading to catastrophic structural damage. Stepped inclines also increase my energy consumption by 63%. In mortal terms, they tire me out. Taking into account the difference of individual limb strength, the design is inherently flawed. A convenient step height for one is an exhausting trial for another. Were I to oversee the specific design of the settlement, I will construct a sloped conveyor belt which enables automatic traversal. Zero personal energy expenditure. You know, he has a point, to be honest, because like even in our real world, like there are some people that just can't walk upstairs because of handicaps and such. So, yeah. Alpha tripped enthusiastically, apparently unfazed by the prospect of climbing the stairs. Oh. I'm gonna go ahead and be nice to Omega. He is helping us after all. Is that Tiki? Huh. He looks like Tiki from Fire Emblem for a moment.
Hey, don't I know you? Yes, after the beasts were taken care of. You told me and everyone else to join the square. Thanks to you, I was there when Reacher gave his speech, and I found out who Varshan really was. It's a shame we don't get to play like we used to, but Mama says Reacher has been busy putting the city back in order. Aw, Reacher actually played with the other kids when he was with Varshan. That's adorable. Maybe I can work for him one day, when I'm a man grown.
Ritra, Midgard someone's offspring, yes. And the child wishes to put himself at the worm's command, that he might make his own contribution to this society. A pattern emerges. I predict that Hunter survivors are those who had ingested Ritra's blood and become his draconic minions. Not quite.
Though dragons were no match for civilization's might, their combat capabilities are not to be underestimated. It's unlike...
No. That was Omega that was speaking. Sorry. It is unlikely that it would experience emotions of dread or uncertainty, as exhibited by lesser beings in times of undue stress.
Dragons? I'm not a dragon, and I never ingested anyone's blood either. Ugh.
You are not of Ritra's horde, so you possess no hidden means to fight off the beast. What of fear then? Were you were frightened?
Yes, I was frightened. I just hid and hoped they wouldn't find me. At least he told me it was safe to come out. Oh, hello again. You're the one who came to ask me all the questions about Kalsal. I'm glad to see you looking well after all that unpleasantness. I still remember the burning skies and hearing the screams, but truth be told, I'm still confused as to what actually happened. I only know that it wasn't usual for entire families to go missing. Many of my neighbors' houses lie empty even now. Kalsal's place was one of them. He had no close relatives to speak of, and I heard that it was members of the consortium who came to remove his belongings. What terrible things to have to do.
Terrible. Kalsal's passing was recorded in the reports. Clearing out his domicile and readying it for new habitation seems an appropriate reallocation of resources.
Dear me, what a clever little contraption. But, of course, I'm not against making use of his quarters. That would be wasteful. It's simply that Kalsal was always such a vigorous person. All that passion, all of those dreams suddenly gone. I feel the same sorrow for everyone who was lost. Seeing the remnants of those vibrant lives packed away in boxes. That is what I mean by terrible.
Are you a traveler? Please, if you have a moment, I can use an outsider's perspective. You see, I was one of those who sought to escape the madness plaguing the world by fleeing to the moon. Not that we ever went in the end. So here I am, recently returned from Charlian. Except now things are strained between my sister and I, since she chose to stay and I chose to leave. I asked her to help me find work, and said I look somewhere that isn't Thabnair. As if I wanted to abandon my home. Ugh, it makes me so angry. Your point is unclear. You elected to relocate to the star's satellite, thus your relative now perceives you in a negative light. Your sibling's judgment is in error, based on the information made available to honest citizens. Your decision to withdraw to the moon was both logical and correct. Conversely, the decision to remain at Ras Al-Han, despite the low probability of survival, defies explanation. Perhaps her reasoning pathways are faulty. That's right! I'm not sure what you're saying, but I'm right, aren't I? Or so I'd like to think. The problem is, I understand why my sister feels this way. I almost decided going against going myself. Even then, I wasn't sure that leaving everything behind everything I loved was the right choice. And with the way it all turned out, Damien, I require a moment to process this input. Let us move apart and discuss our findings. Processing data. Evaluating hypothesis against accumulated evidence. I offered an optimal analysis of each subject's testimony, yet each time the responses conflicted with my assessment. Without identifying the root cause of this conflict, I will be unable to properly define what constitutes strength of heart. Perhaps this matters beyond you. Your response implies an absolute understanding of the answers I seek. Impressive, considering you understand not a single word of Pan-Galactic Basic. We will forge on with the questioning. Continue to educate me with your enlightened perspective. Next, I wish to interact with individuals who endured similar circumstances to Kalsal prior to his transformation. Are you acquainted with any local merchants who has dealings with him? I don't think so. Oh, really? Jinabana Baha of the Muveda Fibers. Acknowledge. Sub-destination set. Speech thing over here. Halt, Damien. Do not proceed beyond this fence. In this body, birds of that size represent lethal, unthinking threats. They will peck my casing apart, searching for meat that does not exist. Conversely, Alpha can correctly identify my absence of nutritional content. If only he could apply that intelligence towards maintaining a regular feeding schedule. Poor habits adversely affect his mobility. talking about the dodos. Ella looks back and forth between Omega and the hamster, showing visible concern. Oh, he's such a good boy. Well, look who it is. I must thank you again for helping in moving our textiles. Recovering from those tragic events has been difficult, of course, but with everyone pulling together, we've managed to get things back and up and running. Hildibrand, I come with questions related to the tragedy, specifically your survival of the final days. Although you are similar to Kalsal in many respects, he succumbed to the transformation and you did not. Why? What is the critical difference between you and him? What? I'm not sure I'm sure I don't know. I'm not especially brave or courageous, if that's what you're asking. Perhaps being focused on protecting our workshop kept me from spinning into panic. Still, I imagine Kalsal would have been feeling that same sense of responsibility. Perhaps the weight of it all is what invited his demise. You were of the same mind, resolved to the same purpose. Yet your strength of heart, of spirit, was not equal, merely emulating the individual's insufficient. Then some other unseen factor must have been involved. Not to interrupt these deep philosophical musings, but do you think I could ask for a small favor? There's a man by the name of Nashvan who's been helping us out here while he gets back on his feet. I have a feeling he'd benefit from speaking with you. Leave by the eastern exit, and we should find him just outside, organizing some new inventory items. The equipment being manufactured here, it is one to perform specific duties, yes. Conceptually, it seems analogous to our practice of switching frames to better service our mission objectives. I, for example, did not begin existence with the Omega model. I was originally supplied with a standard issue Omicron chassis, serial number M017. On this world, that alphanumeric combination would be considered my given name. Such designations are drawn from our near infinite register of celestial bodies to avoid the responsibility of duplication. Furthermore, the cluster known as M17 is better expressed in your language as the Omega Nebula, the same word I used to introduce myself to your kind. Though you associate Omega with the advanced weapon construct, it is also my name, and I see no reason to change it no matter which frame I inhabit. Alpha puffs out his chest proudly, seeming to imply that his Ironworks uniform is the best attire anyone could wear. It sure is funny. Well, come here. Come here. Who's a good chocobo? Who's a good chocobo? What the fuck did I just say about using the stairs? You absolute nincompoop. That's all the orders are accounted for, and everything looks to be of good quality. Kamala will be pleased. You were the Scions! You were there! Yes, I'm sure of it. I'll never forget that day. You and your friends helped us escape when people began changing into beasts. My own son. He was afflicted. And that huge monstrosity loomed right over him, and I remember my heart turned to ice, freezing in place. The satrap came to my aid, but then he too was gone. Oh god, I remember that actually. Yeah. Oh. The memories run together in my mind like flashes from a nightmare. Only the words your comrades still
Only the words of your comrade still ring clear. I repeated them over and over like a mantra as I fled for my life.
He's the only Kra has saved.
You must run, for their sake and your own. It all seems so surreal, which was probably what saved me from the transformation. The truth of it didn't begin to sink in until the worst of it was over. I have not the words to describe how I felt then. The sorrow, the overwhelming sense of helplessness. I may still be wallowing in misery, if not for my old friend, Jinabana. I lost my will to work, and he encouraged me with kind words and odd jobs. Now, somehow, I live again. I'm thankful to him, to the courageous Ahawan, and to you. If you see your comrades, please let them know that their efforts were not in vain. You said you lost your will to work. This signifies a succession of efforts to maintain basic life functions, yes? What changed to extract you from that stagnation? An offer of work from Jinabana should mean little to one without the desire to accept it. Was it some manner of mortal instinct, a primal need to survive and thrive? Instinct? No, it wasn't that. If anything, my instincts were telling me to lay down and welcome an end to the pain. Every day, I think of my boy's final moments. I think of how scared he must have been, how it must have hurt, and I want to scream my throat raw. The satrap, too, still haunts my dreams. I see him being swallowed whole, and chilled awake in a cold sweat. But something changed when Jabaha came to me. I looked up and saw that, even without my son or Ahawan, the world around me continued to turn. Because of that fact grieved me so, I knew it felt to me to live and to remember them. Strange, isn't it? What drives me to rise in the morning is now the very sorrow which once crippled me. Now, I must really return to my work. To lose this job after everything I just said would be a poor jest indeed. May the sisters keep you well. Sorrow, the emotion generated by mortals when their ideals fail to materialize. This I have observed. Yet when I listen to how Nashvan's sorrow served to rescue him from near fatal despondency, his logic eludes me. Am I incapable of perceiving the full measure of the heart's properties? My best projections fail to predict our subjects' responses, and despite their almost equal occupational and mental parameters, Jinabaha and Kalsal exhibit different reaction to the dynamis effect. I am no closer to recognizing the pattern of involuntary transformations, and your ephemeral mortal spirits confound me as much, if not more, than they did before. Have you considered that there is no pattern to the people who were afflicted? No. Pattern. You implied that transformation was not contingent on individual fortitude, but rather a random contribution of environmental factors. Yes, actually! Such as a theory would explain the otherwise conflicting data. Very well, I shall accept this as provisional conclusion to this part of my investigation. I do, however, expect you to continue supplementing my education of the heart-related matters.
support for this? Our next destination will be Camp Broken Glass. I desire to elaboration on the dealings between the Elsabard contingent and the citizens of Garlemald. The report described the continuous purpose as salvation of the local populace. Furthermore, both factions face a common enemy in the Telophoroi. Why did they not immediately combine forces to their mutual benefit? This inconsistency requires close examination. Damien, initiate teleportation. Where are they? No. Teleportation successful. Evaluating immediate environs. A cold weather region by Aetheris standards, but significantly less extreme than a star with ice planet classification. This body shall not be unduly impeded. In contrast to Alpha and its uncontrollable shivering, my frame appears highly resistant to low temperatures. Oh, Alpha! Retrieving data. Records indicate the remnants of the contingent force and a number of Imperial citizens yet inhabit this location. We must speak with representatives from both factions and explore their respective attitudes. Proceed.
Alpha. Why is he so goddamn cute? It's not fair. Why is he so fucking cute? I'm sorry. I just love Alpha so much. Like, look at his little eyes. Look at him. Look at him. Look at him. Oh, he's so goddamn cute. Alright, sorry.
Damien, come to see how things are progressing, have you? I can't speak for the overall strategy, but communication with the locals has become a damn sight easier since Julius and his soldiers stepped in to help. We still face our fair share of distrust, of course. Some folk even think we're enslaving mind with our foreign magics. If anyone has a thing for putting that idea in their heads. But all things considered, I'd say we're doing pretty well. Establishing an open dialogue was the first big step. Query. Do you consider this level of progress acceptable? The reality of your efforts falls far short of the ideal. If your aim is to provide efficient succor to the local populace, then absorbing their numbers into your command structure would be the optimal path. I wouldn't go that far. We're not looking to take over their nation. If we're to do this the right way, we need to recognize and respect each other's way of life. While it may not be the easy solution, I agree with the continuous slow and steady approach. It is how we're saving the lives. Shadow from the past. Yes, I know you from Victor Spoils. Have you come to laugh at me? A wretch who chose to lose Lysina and her sister rather than accept your help. Fool will end up relying upon your charity nonetheless. But perhaps I deserve your decision. Your derision. Like a patriot surely scorn my failed conviction. I have shamed my people, brought dishonor upon my nation. I'm no better than a kept beast. My pride sold for a bowl of feed. But my soul, nay, that you shall never have. I refused your honeyed offers of a new home. This land is where I belong, and this is where I shall remain. You demonstrate opposition to the continuous overtures. On what basis do you refuse this cooperation? The data suggests the local populace is struggling to produce the bare minimum of sustenance. Have you some secret strategies for survival? Or do your orders compel you to accept your present misfortune? What? Must I be mocked by Magitech toy now? No, I have no secret strategy, no binding orders, but I comport myself as any true Guardian patriot would. Uncompromising, unbending. Blast it all. Once again, this input is unanticipated. Let's move aside and process what we have heard. Where? Assessing and analyzing recorded data. Integration complete. I evaluated the most recent input and made comparisons to our discoveries in Rastathan. Consistent only in their inconsistency, the responses from both continued member and Imperial citizen were highly irrational. Conversely, any Omicron considering their predicaments would have echoed my assessment exactly. The divergence is far from self-evident logic is key. Hypothesis. The logical relations between the would-be saviors and suffering populace is a result of the unpredictable nature of mortal hearts. Yeah, you're right. Any property or ability has inherent advantages and disadvantages. Yet I have encountered such unique detriments. Yet never have I encountered such a unique detriment. It appears that those who share your metaphysical capabilities are prone to complicating simple cognitive processes. An undesirable quality. I will, however, persist in furthering my understanding of the subject. Query. Prior to formulating our next step, I wish to know, who is this Licinia of the Imperial mentioned? Oh. It was one of the girls that fled and died, wasn't it? Acknowledged. To summarize, insufficient data on foreign culture resulted in inadvisable and ultimately fatal action. I witnessed such self-destructive behavior during the course of our planetary conquests. Overwhelmed enemy forces would voluntarily withdraw into perilous regions, leading to a succession of inevitable losses. Tangential data request. I wish to learn about burial customs. The practice has ever seemed nonsensical, but new data suggests it arises from the same source as your cognitive complications. Take me to this Licinia's burial site. It may aid me to understand. Omega? Energy delivered systems compromised. Core temperature critically low. Warning. Immediate heating required. Request. Apply friction to outer frame. Aww. So much for being resistant to the cold, huh? Temperature nominal. Energy level stabilizing. The creators of this model must have experienced impaired cognitive reasoning during their design process. Upon our return, I will request additional climate shielding, as well as an accurate temperature sensor array. This will not affect my combat capabilities, but should improve my basic survival rate. Reconfirming sub-destination, in which direction will we find Victor's spoils. Acknowledged. Alpha, you are to remain in close proximity, close enough to envelop me in your feathers. You are permitted to carry me on your back if you so choose. sure this works. Can check my Discord in the meanwhile. A deceptively deep snowdrift almost defeated me, but we have successfully arrived at the location you indicated. Caution advised. An unknown individual appears to be investigating the object of my interests. You're Rose's champion, aren't you? Damien Selfrost. No, you're thinking of Zai Solness, but I do understand the confusion. We are both Viera. Oh, never introduced myself, did I? I'm Malnius, soldier of the First Legion and comrade of Julius. Perhaps you remember me from Teridium. We spoke about collecting ceruleum, and again later on, after Lord Quintus had passed. I don't remember this guy, to be honest. But sure. Manius. Explanation requested. What is the reason for your presence here? That must be the tiniest magic weapon. Ah, no, it's just an oddly shaped communicator, isn't it? In any case, I have nothing worthy to report. I heard that the sisters who used to live in my sector were buried here, so I thought I'd come and pay my respects. Alphino and Alice told me the story, complete with profuse apologies, though they were adamant that no amount of remorse could erase the tragedy of what came to pass. Not that my fellow soldiers and I are any place to judge. We were manipulated, fooled into starting an insurrection which led to countless deaths among our own countrymen. Objection. The casualties incurred through your infighting were distinct from those caused by the Hildibrand contingent. To restate, you are justified in seeking restitution from the contingent for causing the deaths of Lucinia, and her sister. Retaliation for damages sustained is also a logical progression. Omega! I can deduce two reasons as to why you do not initiate hostilities with Damien and his allies. 1. You judge your remaining forces too weakened to contend effectively with the contingent. 2. Your emotions are complicating the issue. Tell me, which of these is correct? Well, when you lay it out like that... I'm afraid my answer isn't likely to win me any medals, so would you mind keeping this to yourselves? There's an unspoken thought that we are outmatched on the battlefield, certainly, but the real reason why I'm not demanding restitution has little to do with weighing the odds. The simple truth is I'm so caught up with simple survival that I have no strength to spare for past grievances. Say if it goes for avenging any comrades that we've lost, be that my brothers in arms or Lord Quintus himself. Although it seems everyone has an opinion about the manner of his passing. Some say he should have fought until the end, but he abandoned us to the enemy.
There's praise in taking the full burden of responsibility and freeing us to walk our own path. I don't know who's right and who's wrong, but I'm inclined to side with the latter. He gave his choice. He gave us the choice of freedom, and that's a choice I made. I would cry and rant and rage, but what would be the point? I'll save my energy for worrying about my next meal, my next task. I need to focus on the ones left behind. I'm making some kind of life for my comrades and me. And I need to lean on to continue to do that, then that's what I'll do. Even if their aid comes at a price, I'm willing to pay it. Even amongst your own, there are times when cooperation demands compromise. What matter that they're outsiders? Besides, I think I could grow up to like Alphino and LSA. They've reached out to us with kindness and compassion from the very beginning. Summation. Your desire to survive, even if it mean allying with the contingent, was a feeling you had already harbored. That your side had committed worse atrocities was logic you invented to later justify your reasoning. Blunt, but accurate, I suppose. The heart is honest about what it wants. Even to the mind takes a while to reconcile the decision. Well, this has been oddly cathartic, but I must return to my duties. There are wild beasts to cull, watchfires to light, and supplies to transport. Even without an emperor, there's no rest for an imperial. Be well, and stay safe. Upon review of reason and input, I arrive at an unexpected conclusion. I have been formulating my assessment on the premise that it was a man who commanded the strength of his heart, but data suggests the opposite is true. Surge of spirit, of feelings, of emotions can entangle your thoughts to such a degree that even control over your own behavior is compromised. It seems a most counterproductive specification. This also explains why my interaction with mortal subjects have produced more confusion than clarification. It presents a formidable barrier to understanding. My earlier hypothesis has borne out. This optimal operation being conducted here is a result of emotionally compromised reasoning. I am ready to progress to my third and final query. I would learn more about those referenced as Ancients. It is clear that this group was a crucial factor of the final days, but the information contained in the report was insufficient to form an overview. The Loporrits are creations of the Ancients and are said to maintain repositories of their knowledge. By my calculations, the base of these moonwalk dwellers will provide the best source of additional data. Teleport us now to their burrow, Damien. Preferably before my battery freezes over. Alright. Hey, we're here already. Your teleportation was successful. We appear to have arrived at the location described as Best Way Burrow. An inspection of the technology in here would give me a detailed insight into the Ancients and their civilization. This body, however, lacks my previous frame's advanced observational functionality. I will require external assistance.
No, it can't be.
Oh, hold on, my phone is buzzing.
No, okay.
Oh, it is you! Oh, Damien, I've missed you so! What?
What's this you've brought with you? Soft feathery vision! We've been outfluffed! Pack up to the moon! It's all over! Why bother with barrel building bunnies when you can walk around with this normal alien engineer? Just bake me to a pie and be done with it! It's nothing like that, but Growing Way, it's fine. Inspector Inventions! Wait, so you're not done with us? Ha! I was truly worried, of course, and I certainly wasn't about to roll myself into dough and dive into Cooking Way's new oven. If technical breakdown is what you need, then I'm your operate. As a residential atmospheric regulation expert, I can field any questions or queries you might care to pose. Acceptable. This employee will be quite. I will employ this being to guide me around the facilities. Your presence is not mandatory. Even locked within my current chassis, I am still an autonomous construct that has endured hundreds of life cycles. I am capable of completing this simple objective alone. Alright. Want me to show you around, Alpha? No? Okay. Objective complete. What happened to Growing Way? After my 50th question, his response began to suffer noticeable delays. By that stage, we had reviewed a representative cross-section of Loperate engineering, thus I deemed it unnecessary to retain his company. Conclusion. Extrapolating from the fraction of technology on display, the full spectrum of ancient advances was, at minimum, equivalent to a level 4 civilization. A fact which demands further investigation. Despite establishing a near-ideal society, these beings nevertheless harbored a weakness which invited self-destruction. In studying them, I stand to gain a greater understanding of Sir's anomalous decision. Growing Way informed me that another type of ancient-made entity exists upon the satellite, the one they call the Watcher. I would speak to him. Then conserve your ether. We will ride this Argos to our destination, as you have suggested. I like how they even keep the fact that we have Argos with us too.
There he is, the other best boy! Oh.
Impendence detected. This creature, identified as Argos, refuses to acknowledge our presence. Hypothesis. Upon our arrival, Growing Way expressed concern that he had been out-fluffed. Suggests the existence of fluff-based hierarchy. My station is such a system would be
Fucking, I got the damn button again.
Would be predictably low. But Argos is adamant in ignoring even Alpha. His fluffiness level is impossible to gauge. Our concerns you with passive gaze to intervene. You're the fluffiest of them all, dear Argos. Argos is an exasperated storm before motioning to his back. He needs your permission to climb aboard. You secured the creature's permission. Curious. Is it your fluffy ears which provide such exemplary standing in hierarchy? Oh, he actually calls on effect on a Viera! That's so cool! I have allowed myself to become distracted. Let's continue on to the Watcher at once. Wait, I wonder if he would comment if I was a Hrothgar. Or Mikote. So many questions. And I probably shouldn't be too surprised about the fact that he like comes on Vieira, because like even as far back as like the fucking like Monster Hunter crossover, the fucking cat would actually respond to you being a Mikote. I was bemused by the arrival of these small visitors, but I see they are companions of yours. What a rare thing for my abode to be thus crowded. How may I be of service to you? Hello, Watcher. My purpose here is to learn more about the ancients. I would know of their deeds, their philosophies, the very nature of their hearts. I would understand why the final days was visited upon my home star. A worthy endeavor, but there's another better suited to assisting you in that task. Perhaps you might favor us with a tale or two of the ancients you met during your travels, Damien. My fragmented memories would be a pale substitute indeed for the clarity of your more recent experiences. Right, and Elvis. Sure. Yes, I can envision every detail. Your meeting with Vana and Emmett Selk and Hildibrand. Oh, sorry, that was a strange mix between the Omega voice and the ancient voice. Sorry. The sorrow and determination of Hermes. I am a creation of Hydaelyn, and as such, I believe the age of the ancients would fade and be forgotten. Yet, knowing that their memory lives so vividly within you, brings me great joy. I pray you keep them close to your heart. Of course. At the time of your journey to the past, those whose essence I embody would have been a scholar at a niter. A shame. Had you reason to go there, perhaps you might have met. Huh. As a man of learning, he was firm friends with Vana. They spent long hours feeding theories or debating the laws of the universe. I remember joining her faction on the final days bore down upon us. Yet of the events surrounding that tragedy, I recall precious little. Hydaelyn wished for the people of your age to decide their own path. Thus, I suspect my recollection was limited by design. Yet even she could not cut away one persistent memory. I feel most distinctly his sadness at what has come to pass. That in becoming Hydaelyn's heart, Vana would forever stand apart from the people she so loved. If she was so resolved in her convictions, then he too would share her sleepless vigil over the future yet to unfold. Thus was the vow he made to Vana as her transformation took hold. His fervent wish must have reached her in some fashion. Though his life was drained away by the summoning, he was reborn with a new form and a new purpose when I awoke as the Watcher of the Moon. And you heard, Damien. You felt. You thought. And in seizing the future for yourselves, you have brought a full circle to the saga, which Vana began. What you accomplished was no divine miracle. It was but the beacon of hope, passed down from one generation to another. A succession of wishes and prayers reshaping the star into the world we knew you deserved. You have our deepest gratitude. I thank you not only as myself, but as the man I once was, and on behalf of those who devoted themselves to Vanar's vision. Bloop, bloop. I understand the fact of your story, Damien, but not how you have chosen to process them. On what grounds do you speak of Vanar with such fondness? By sundering the world, she ultimately guided your kind to victory, yet in doing so, caused irreparable damage to its individual members. The full scale of that act is beyond calculation. It is evident, however, that it resulted in a protracted period of suboptimal existence for Emmett Selk and his brethren. Query: since the survival of your kind is a deciding factor of your evaluations, then should you also not admire Hermes and his decision to subject man to a trial, forcing you to change or perish, as was the fate of countless civilizations before you? I mean, you're not entirely wrong, I suppose. From my perspective, his determination was similar to that of the Omicron's ancestors, those who first began trading flesh for machine, so that our people might stand against the onslaught of aggression from other races. It was an unprecedented attempt, accompanied by much failure and sacrifice. The early experiments were crude, primitive. Had they not made those first advances, however, we would have remained vulnerable to our environment. The violence would have utterly consumed us. And what of Emmett Selk himself? Judging by your retelling, he was a benevolent ally saddled with a tragic fate. Yet I remember the years when my instruments fed me data from events across the entire star. During that time, I witnessed the ascent engineer multiple instances of cataclysmic strife. These calamities, as you know them, were responsible for the planet-wide destruction. A man whose endgame relied upon the extinction of all modern mortals must, by definition, be your worst enemy. I require an answer. As a being of heart and soul, how do you classify each of these pivotal figures? From your perspective, which of them was the most justified in their actions? That is a doozy of a question. Fuck. Because, like, Florina, she realized that in order to combat Dynamis, we would need to utilize Dynamis ourselves, but the ancients weren't able to do that. They were just too full of ether, and that's why she sundered the world to allow us to, well, basically become so ether starved that we could actually use Dynamis ourselves. And she only did so with a heavy heart. Like, she didn't want to sunder the world, but she felt like it was the only method she had. For Hermes, he realized that with the way that the ancient would continue, like, treating their creations, that they would probably end up stagnating and crash as a society. And we saw that in the, like, final main story dungeon in Endwalker, like that last civilization, the ones with the, like, the ones that worship that divine creature, Rala, I think it was. They were basically the ancients that had gone too far in a way. Like, there's a lot of parallels to be made between them. And Emmett Selk, where the fuck do I even start? So, Emetzel was best friends with Hildibrand and Asum, and they were both lost in the Sundering, and out of both his own desire to be reunited with them, although that probably would be impossible in the case of Hildibrand, considering he sacrificed himself to summon Zodiarch. He attempted to deliver, well, all the fractions of the ancients back together by causing the different calamities and the rejoinings and like he just wanted a return to the status quo, even though he felt that it was a daunting task that eventually he felt a desire to give up on and just fucking hell. God, I'm tearing up again. God damn it. I'm sorry to say, but they were all justified in their own way. I think I understand. You seek a definitive answer, yet based on our experience, Dame and I might develop very different opinions. In the same fashion, you are free to form your own thoughts on the matter. Do not be so swift to consider them with that merit. I do not have my own thoughts on the matter. I assess each situation with the same logical pathways available to every Omicron. Yet if 1,000 Omicrons were asked to analyze the same event, they would all return the same result, regardless of individual experience. There is no strength to be found in fractured reasoning. Nonetheless, I find your input valuable. Recording data alongside interview results. This concludes my investigation into the incomplete events of the final day's report. I will reanalyze the accumulated information and examine the factors which led to Sir's incomprehensible decision. Let us return to Thomasane. Jeez, I might have to rest my throat after we're done here. Sorry, Tataru, but I need my rest. And also I'm getting pretty hungry.
Ah, there you are. Right at the last moment. Your training with Omega was probably educational, I hope. We plan to ask you all about it and the mystery transmission besides, but I'm afraid something urgent has come up. It seems one of our Ironwood associates has fouled up a job elsewhere, and Jesse needs to wedge and not me to rush in and lend a hand. There's an airship waiting for us at the harbor, in fact. Do you think you were escorted over there and talk as we walk? Acceptable. I'm fully capable of speech during ambulation. I figured you might be. Right, we're gonna move on then. So, cleared up all those points of confusion then.
I had mistakenly classified your intangible heart as an ability of some kind. An uncanny power that the Omicrons could neither learn nor even measure. Even now, its full nature yet eludes my comprehension. Based on an investigation, however, I decided to alter my definition. A phenomenon which influences one's interpretation of reality. That is as close as an answer as I have found. Accordingly, Sir's action upon meeting Meteon strongly indicate the presence of a heart. Sir did not follow routine logic, but formulated an independent assessment based upon the reality it perceived. It felt that the best recourse for the Omicrons was to cease their expansion and terminate all functions.
Well, here's our ship.
Aye, when you be going, but first, I'll hold you to your bargain, Omega. Simon told us what was in that transmission room of flight logs. Acknowledged. I will uphold the terms of our agreement. The recording salvage from the Ragnarok rests a simple one. The message is so basic, in fact, that the time spent listening to it may result in a net loss of value. Shall I continue?
No, you're just teasing. Just tell us the message already.
Acknowledged. Converting dialect coding to local language. To whomever receives this message out there in the vast reach of the cosmos. To someone, I hope, who looks up to at the star with the same wistful gaze as mine. To you I say, forge ahead. May all of our tomorrows be blessed with joy. This message had no designated recipient. It lacks purpose. The concept of joy is overly abstract. The vocal supplicant to manifest such joy is unrealistic in its optimism. Yet based upon their expressions, my assessment of the transmitted value conflicts with its apparent impact. Still, I fail to understand you, sir. Your heart still confuses me. Was termination of everything the correct course? How did you arrive at this conclusion? It defies all my attempts at reasoning. But I was designed to evolve. If I continue to learn, the probability that I eventually comprehend this phenomenon is greater than 0. So I will put this dilemma of your decision aside for now. Take care, you two. I continue my existence upon this distant star. As I dwell among these many life forms, so will I continue to piece together the incomplete shape of their mortal hearts. I must document their progress. Easy on, please. Your contribution to my education is appreciated, Damien. Indeed, I have amassed a satisfying quantity of valuable data. Now that our negotiation business is complete, however, Alpha and I will return to traveling the world. Drawing on recent experience, I am confident that we can expand the radius of our ventures by a significant margin. We need not limit ourselves to Eorzea. I am now familiar with Sharlayan and Rasad Han, and we could also like to revisit the freezing climes of Garlem. I neglect to instruct Biggs and Wedge to upgrade my climate shielding. I will reroute my requests to Deputy President Jesse. Engaging admiration and parting salutations. Farewell, Damien. Alpha gives a vigorous shake and draws forth a scrap of paper from under his wing. Seems just want you to have it. Perhaps this is his way of thanking you. Oh, that's... Thank you, Alpha. Swiftly, Alpha. The road is long, and we have barely begun our journey. I think that's a good place to end it on. Thank you all for coming to today's stream. I'll probably stream again when I feel like doing the Tataru quest line. But that's gonna be another day. Holy shit. Take care, everyone.